Hey everyone, Warwick's here. So we're back with another reaction video. This time we're doing again voice play. We just did Be Prepared not too long ago, and now they've come out with another one here of Thriller, originally from Michael Jackson. This is the second MJ song in the past couple of months that they have covered. This one featuring J Nunn. So J Nunn joining back with the crew for this one. I've been on record in the past saying that I think this 5-man setup of voice play is the best version of voice play. I love when J Nunn is back in doing fun things with the crew. So we're going to take a look at this and see how things turn out with what I assume is going to be their Halloween video for the month of October. If you've never watched one of my videos before, I welcome you coming into the channel. Those of you that are veterans of my channel, welcome back. It's good to see you again. The way that I do my videos is that I will do a full watch of the video the first time, because I've never seen this before. You're just going to get my dumb face down here in the bottom left of your corner, bottom left of your screen rather, reacting to whatever I see in real time, no pausing. And then I'll go back and do a second listen through where I actually will stop and talk about the things that I find neat or interesting, or if I have questions about something, I'll post them there, and then I usually get answers in the comments below. For those of you that are not aware of me, my name is Corey, IRL. I go by Works on all the social channels because that is my online gaming name. I started doing these videos in 2022. I've been doing them ever since, really enjoy them. It's been fun. It's a nice different creative pace for me from sitting down and doing World of Warcraft videos, which is what this channel is primarily about. Did drumline in high school, not a professional musician by any stretch of the imagination, but I love the music, so here I am doing them. So that's the gist of this video. So we're gonna just jump right into this here with Thriller originally by Michael Jackson, featuring voice play, who brought in J Nunn for this video. So let me make sure this is turned up a little bit so I can hear it. And then let's dive right into this.
Thriller, thriller night. I'm gonna thrill you tonight. I'm gonna thrill you tonight. I'm gonna thrill you tonight. It's close to midnight, and something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed. You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold and wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Yeah. But all the while, you hear a creature creeping up behind. You're out of time. Cause this is thriller night. And no one's gonna save you from the beast about to strike. You know it's thriller night.
You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight. To get you, there's demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial.
Now is the time for you and I to cuddle close together. Ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see that this is thriller night. Cause I can thrill you more than any ghoul would ever dare try. Thriller night. So let me hold you tight and share a killer thriller tonight.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
Thriller night. Oh, it's thriller night.
The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
I'm gonna do it now. Thriller night. Girl, I can tell you more than any cool. Thriller night. So let me hold you tight and share a killer thriller tonight.
Yeah, buddy. I love that. That was fun. Very, very cool.
Hey,
Okay, that is a carrot.
Thanks for watching VoicePlay's Thriller featuring Jay Nunn. If you'd like to see all of our videos early, get an in-depth look behind the scenes, and get a scary amount of extra VoicePlay goodness, head on over to Patreon and sign up today. You can even sign up for free. Thanks.
All right, we got to go to the credits. We always got to go to the credits. Always do the credits. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Get my head out of the way. All right, arrangement and video was Jeff. Okay, yeah, I kind of saw some signs of a Jeff arrangement in this, so that's thinking about it a little bit. That doesn't surprise me. Creative concept was Jeff and Rick Underwood. Ed Boyer was, of course, the audio mixing. Tony Joaquim and Jeff Castellucci did the direction on that. Ellie, of course, was the lighting guy. Makeup and prosthetics, or Rick Underwood and Renette Farron, who've been doing this for a while for these guys. Production manager and the floor zombie. I was about to ask if that was Kathy, and it was. Steadicam operator Matt Hutchinson, Andrew Cox is the camera assistant, Brandon Wood, production assistant, and Greta the Gruesome was the flying stunt zombie. So shout outs to the doll for that. It's filmed, of course, at Patty Cake, which doesn't surprise me for this one. So very, very cool. Shout outs to everyone behind the scenes, particularly makeup and prosthetics. Rick and Renette did a fantastic job on this one. Very, very, very cool. I quite enjoyed that. We're going to get back into that in just a second. So very, very cool. That was fun. That's the big thing about VoicePlay is they do things with their Halloween videos that are not meant to be like truly creepy. They're meant to be more fun and campy. We saw that with Hide and Seek last year, which was very much a play off the Haunted Mansion. Which is kind of a campy, scary movie. And then Thriller, they took this form of the video, which the original version was, it's iconic. And it's like, the original version was kind of meant to be somewhat scary while also being a pop song, which is kind of oxymoronic. This one has a much more campy, over-the-top feel to it, while still being a very fun and cool and different arrangement from what we expect from VoicePlay. So very much enjoyed that quite a bit. So if this is just the end for the reaction, you're here for just my first reaction, that's the end of it for you. If you want to dive in and let's do a little bit more deep dive analysis stuff, let's hop right in.
Thriller night. I'm gonna thrill you tonight. I'm gonna thrill you tonight.
So I love that they start off right, obviously, with the iconic da 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 da. Of course, it was instruments in the original song. Here, of course, they do the lyrics that go with it. And we get a nice 5-part harmony going here, obviously, with Jeff sitting at the bottom, and then Caesar and Lane kind of sitting in the middle, with Jay Nunn and Ellie sitting towards the top. And then we get the I'm gonna throw you tonight riffing going in as they establish the Jeff bass line.
I'm gonna thrill you tonight. I'm gonna thrill you tonight.
do that right there, that really nice bass line with the snaps, kind of hitting you with this big moment, and then they pull back and pull down a little bit to where they're now kind of getting into their establishing tone, and then they dive into the first initial lyric, which of course is going to be from their featured guest, Jada.
I'm gonna tell you now. It's close to midnight, and something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost your heart. You try to scream.
I don't remember the original song, and I'm wondering when he kind of tucked his head to his shoulder if he was basically censoring a swear word. I don't remember if the original one has one or not, because it's been a long time. I don't really listen to MJ's music on the regular, so if you know, put it in the comments. But I love the soul that Jay Nunn's putting into this. Obviously, Michael Jackson's voice known for the soul that he always put behind it, including not just his range, but the, kind of the soul and the, you could tell like he was feeling every note. Jay Nunn tries to mimic that here, obviously in a little bit more probably controlled manner. And we get the cool throwback kind of like 80s setup. I like that shirt actually that Jay Nunn's wearing. Anyone knows where it's at? I think Holdra, if you're watching, if you know where she got the shirts from, throw it in the comments, because I'm still waiting on my order from the Total Eclipse of the Heart to come in. I got the Caesar shirt, so I want this one too because I like it.
You see a sight that almost your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it.
Love the riff there. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
You start to freeze as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed.
Same for Ellie there. Wonderful run. So I really like what's going on with the background text too, where they just are repeating specific words out of every line. Really like that, and that we're getting, again, all the guys are involved here with Jeff, of course, out there doing the do-doom-doom, do-doom-doom, kind of being that momentum pusher for this part of the section until Lane comes in with his drums.
You hear the door slam. Eyes.
And then right there we get Lane doing the like this really muffled heartbeat feeling bass drum. And then of course we get into this heavy snare, and then Jeff picks up the rhythm of his bass. So we're transitioning out of our intro section into what is normally dubbed the A section in most pieces, where the momentum and the drive feels a lot more static, a lot more energetic in a way. And Lane transitions out from singing into more of a straight up drum in this case.
You hear the door slam and realize there's nowhere left to run. You feel the cold and wonder if you'll ever
Does anyone know if Kathy made that noise? Because that'd be amazing.
see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. Yeah.
Ooh, Jay Nun, love that. So we're getting a much more four to the floor now that Lane has been infected. And of course he dubs the contacts, and his dress and stuff like that start to get a little bit more rattered and tattered. And it's much more, four to the floor, that do-ga type rhythm that is very stereotypical in pop music, because again, you want things to feel very static when it comes to your drum beat, when it comes to sort of traditional pop music. And Michael Jackson was on the forefront of creating modern pop music, even going back to his time in the Five. But I mean, really, when he busted out the solo career in the really the late 80s, early 90s is when kind of he was one of the guys that kind of created the modern, what we dub the pop. And then you have groups later in the 90s that took the spin on it and did something slightly different with it. And then we've seen continuing evolutions. But I mean, you can trace almost any pop artist's music and style and their composition work back to the stuff that MJ was doing in the late 80s, early 90s. Like there's definitely a thread. So we get that more straightforward beat and nothing that's syncopated other than Jeff's doom 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 doom. Even then, that's only like the one beat that's going on. Other than that, he's very much on an eighth note. He's other than the doom, where he's doing like a 16th note start. So it's a very straightforward piece in terms of its underlying heartbeat. And all the complexity the voice play is putting in is coming from its lyrics with its riffs and things like that. Obviously, we've seen Ellie do some, Jaden do some, getting all this background text that's going on, all these syncopated background text, and then of course we're getting this beautiful note from J Riff that drops way down into low baritone, even up into upper bass. It's kind of impressive, actually. Let's listen to it.
This is just imagination, yeah. But all the while, you hear a creature
Right
creeping up behind.
here.
You're out of time.
Did I miss it? I missed it.
All the while, imagination, yeah.
Right there.
All the while, imagination, yeah.
Yeah. Like he got down deep into upper bass range. I'm pretty impressed by that. So shout out to Shayna. What I love about this video is the fact that there's so much fun interaction going on between the guys here. Now I've always talked about how voice play, sometimes they look like a standard choir group. They're just standing there singing, and sometimes they do these pieces that have a ton of really fun and cool interactions. And I'm always more drawn visually to these videos where they do a ton of interactions. Be Prepared is fun to watch. Oogie Boogie Man is fun to watch. But something like Nothing Else Matters, it's not as fun to watch. It's amazing to listen to, but I don't think it's as fun to watch, as epic as that one is. Even something like Valhalla Calling, the visual draw of Valhalla Calling is not from what the guys are doing actually on their stage. It's from what all the work that like Ellie did in the background with the CGI and the visual graphics and the Unreal Engines type stuff. Like that was where the visual fun came from in that video, because those guys didn't really do a lot to interact with each other. They were standing as a typical 5-man choir and were singing at the camera. So when they do videos like this where they interact with each other, do fun things with each other, make it look like they're real people almost in a lot of ways, like the way Ellie reacts to Caesar wiping this off on him, like, is very like, that's exactly how I would react. Like if I were just hanging out with a group of friends, if I had any, stuff like that. So I love when they do stuff like this. And then of course you keep the lip syncing going, which I'm sure was probably somewhat tough, I imagine. But these guys are pros, so they probably did like a couple takes and found the right mix there. Love the foreshadowing that something's up with Caesar with the head tilt. Love that.
You're fighting for your life inside a killer thriller tonight.
I actually love this line from Jeff because you expected him to go like tonight, like way down there. Instead, he goes tonight. It goes up a little bit. I didn't get the notes right, and I apologize for subjecting you to my singing. But like, I love that line. And then obviously we get when he says killer, we get the shot over to Caesar, who now dons his contacts for this, shows that he's obviously very different.
For your life inside a killer
Right there. Love that. I love the little like half step up that he does there, because it plays with your expectations. Like, you know, I think if you watch this the first time, like I just did, like I was expecting Jeff to just drop into like this gross subharmonic that he could do in his sleep probably. But instead he takes that little step up, and it sounds cool as hell. It just sounds cool, like makes him look cool. And then it plays on this nice little, like, really nice way to like transition into this next phase. Like listen to it here and how it transitions over into the next section of the piece. So it really sets that, and then you get this high tenor night, up on all three, and then he drops right back into his bass line as we transition into the next part, which is eventually when Ellie gets messed with. Love the bass line that Jeff does here. So it's seems very basic on the form, right? Yeah, listen. You just get these offbeats, doom, 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 doom. But listen to right before this, and then he jumps an octave and does like this really nice walking downstairs bass. So like, let's hear it. So very simple. Something like that, and then he goes into these offbeats. Doom, 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 doom. Let's start to walk in the masquerade. Doom, 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 doom. Right there. So I love the bass line here. It's fun, keeps things keeps some momentum going, and it's just like it's a nice little. It kind of changes the groove a little bit of this whole song. Because, like, again, I talk about this a lot because it's something that I know very deeply in my own core. Songs that have grooves to them, there's a few different ways that you can kind of track the idea of groove. Most commonly, it is drums and low notes. Bass guitar, in the case of more traditional music, you can use it with, like, in more orchestral music, it's usually instruments that can go low. So you see it with tubas, trombones. They're usually some sort of underlying groove if you're playing a piece that has that, which you see more common in marching band than you do in like true orchestra setups. But you notice in like marching band, in almost every mainstream genre of music and a cappella, it's always this this percussion bass grouping that kind of sits and underlies this groove. Now, the thing about it is that if you become too static with it, it gets boring. And so what the best songs do, Michael Jackson obviously tremendous at this, and obviously VoicePlay the same as well, is that if you can find ways to vary the groove and the underlying feelings of the song without it becoming too static, but also without it becoming too like discordant, then you keep people's ears entertained, and it's almost like pulling off a magic trick. Because a lot of people are focusing on your upper melodies. A lot of people are probably listening to this and are listening to Ellie, to Caesar, to Janon, who are doing the lead line and the background text. But the thing that's really driving everything at this moment in time is Lane and Jeff. And I always kind of appreciate that as someone that was in percussion. You get your ego boosted when they always tell you, follow the center snare. And I was one for the last 2 years of high school. And, and you always get told in marching band that when in doubt, find where the percussion is at beat-wise and fall in with them. And so that's kind of true in almost every genre of music. If you find yourself lost in a way, you want to come back to percussion. And in this case, it's percussion and bass. And that's how you're going to find your center again. So I love the way that they kind of switch up the groove. Lane is still very much doing a traditional 4 to the floor, but Jeff is really varying up the way that bass line moves. He goes from doing just like these doom doom to doom doom to these doom 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 doom, like these upbeat off bass. It doesn't sound weird, it doesn't sound out of place, but it does just enough, even if you're not paying attention to it, but subconsciously if you're not paying attention to it, to make you feel like there's still momentum, still going something forward, but there's just like a slightly different feeling. It's still core to what they're trying to do here, but it's just a variation of it that keeps you engaged, and that's the point of it. Night creatures calling, the dead start to walk in their masquerade. There is no escaping the jaws of the end in this time. This is the end of your life. So there's something going on in the background. Obviously, Ellie's high notes are ridiculous, and I love it. Sounds really cool, but there's something going on in the background, and I don't know if it's Jeff or if it's Lane. So there's just like this, almost like this like throaty growl, like this doom doom, like something like that, very like buried in the background. And I don't know if that's Lane doing like a throat bass type technique or if that's Jeff. Let me listen to it one more time.
There's no escaping the jaws of the end in this time. This is the end.
Could be both of them. There's some really, really cool bass stuff going on here, and I can't quite pinpoint it out. Like, it could be Lane doing a throat bass technique when he's hitting the something like that, or it could be Jeff just hitting like these cool sub-harmonic notes that happen to blend really, really well with the way that the bass drum is sitting. And then let's give some shout outs to Ellie. Let's give him his props here.
In this time, this is the end of your life. They're out to get.
So yeah, on up, of course, he hits his highest note, which is awesome. Lots of fun riffing there. Gets, in my opinion, a little bit too close to being overdone, but still very cool. Now we're transitioning into Jeff being transformed.
You. There's demons closing in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial.
Now is the
Ooh, love that at the end. So one of the things I like visually about what Jeff does here is that he looks straight into the camera. So one of the things that that you notice a lot with this is that they don't necessarily look directly into the camera. They almost look like they're looking at something over your shoulder the whole time. That's somewhat by design. But these moments, and in this case, it makes these moments when things like Jeff looks straight into the camera feel more impactful. So I love that he's kind of looking into the camera almost like it's almost fourth wall breaking, but it's done in a way that I think is really neat. And obviously he's looking around when talking about closing in on all sides. And then of course we end with this just crazy slide down that he does, which I think is amazing.
They're out to get
Right
you.
here.
There's demons closing
And with the eye lift, almost like he's like, yep.
in on every side. They will possess you unless you change that number on your dial.
now is the time
Somebody name the lowest note that he gets to there.
for you and I to cuddle close together. Ooh yeah, 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 yeah. All through the night, I'll save you from the terror on the screen. I'll make you see that this is.
So I love this. I don't know if it was Jeff just like leaning back and then standing up, or if there was some contraption that helped him do this. The cracking sounds of bones cracking there. And obviously he's got the yellow things with the paler complexion. Just very cool. And of course we transition over into green light, which indicates generally in some people's interpretation would be sickness. So very cool. Into red, of course, danger.
Thriller night, 'cause I can thrill you more than any cool would ever dare try.
Ooh, Jeffy boy. I love what you did there on the bottom. That
Thriller night,
And again, we get our heartbeat from Lane. That doom, 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 doom. Very cool.
so let me hold you tight and share a killer thriller, killer thriller, killer thriller tonight.
Love that belt from Ellie. I'm going to try to speed it up because I'm already at 29 minutes on this total. So I don't want to keep us here 40 minutes tonight, especially because I have 2 other videos to record.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. And whosoever
So 2 things I want to point out here real quick. One, of course you should get Jeff to narrate this because deep voice scary, things like that. But he's almost speak singing it, which is very, very cool. 2, Jaina, dude, that alarm's going to sound. B, right here. Dude, turn the lock. Sorry, I have to be that guy in this case. I know what they're doing for. I get it. But it's just funny to me. But I love, obviously, this is not part of the original piece. So this is VoicePlay's own creative choice that they're making. Of course, they always do this. They make some sort of, not out there, but like out of nowhere creative decision with a lot of their covers that they do that are really, really fun and interesting. In this case, it's Jeff narrating kind of a creepy little paragraph here. So very cool.
Shall be found without the soul for getting down. Must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
Thriller night. Oh, it's thriller night.
The foulest stench is in the air. The funk.
I love the transition that they do here. Of course, we get back into our more direct four to the floor, and they're doing some choreography. In this case, 2 steps on, I think 1 and 3, and then 2 steps right on, or right and left, whatever. So a little bit of choreography going on here, which VoicePlay doesn't do a ton of. They do it sometimes, but they don't, when they do it, it's kind of fun and neat. So I want to shout it out, appreciate it.
Of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver.
Vocal fry there, your body starts to shiver. Love that. Love that. It's so fun. I love this, Jeff. Thank you for doing this narration. It's great. Obviously, we're getting just oohs in the background too that are really, really nice. Here we're getting Ellie doing a little bit of a moving ooh, whereas Caesar is kind of maintaining it, and of course Lane just pushing that forward to the floor rhythm that we've gotten for the majority of this song.
For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
I'm gonna do it now. Thriller night. Girl, I can take it more than any cool.
So I love that. I was hoping at some point they would do the choreography that, again, is so iconic from this song. Jaden, of course, does the majority of Michael Jackson moves, and then we get the claws, which are the most iconic part of this. And they don't do the back and forth that you do in the original video, but at least they made an ode to it, which I appreciate, guys. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for not disappointing me. Of course, Jaden, not quite as high as MJ can do it, but I don't know how many people can actually do it as high as MJ did it. The hoo-hoo that was very synonymous with MJ, so I love that.
So let me hold you tight, killer, thriller, killer, thriller, killer, thriller.
Some crazy high notes at the end, and of course Jeff with the bassy laugh. Love that. Very, very fun. Very cool. I like visually this video is a blast to watch. Musically, some really, really cool things going on. And I love that Jeff speak singing paragraph section in the middle there, kind of in the second third of it. Just excellent. So shout out to VoicePlay. Thank you guys again for all the work that you put into this and making it and sharing it with the world. You guys are fantastic. I love you guys. Next time I'm down in Orlando, I would love the opportunity to tour Patty Cake Productions, if that is possible. I don't even know if it is. And to meet you guys, that would be one of my life's great honors. So, yeah, let's go support these guys. If you haven't already, go check them out. Individual work from Jeff, I know, does a bunch of stuff individually, but go support these guys on any social channel you could. Spread the word on this one. This is a great, great cover. So until the next video, I hope you all stay safe. Hope you enjoy yourself. You're having fun. You keep on listening to great music, and we'll see you next time.